Hey folks! So we're back today with another Legacy Rug Rhinos League. So I played a bunch of Rhinos on my own since I uploaded my last video and done a bunch of practicing. I mean, I was thinking that the Delver matchup is pretty rough, but I think I have a handle on that now. Basically, we're just going to sideboard in Endurance. It pretty much takes care of the matchup. However, Death Shadow does not just fold to Endurance and is a bit of a problem. So it's why we're going to play two Murktide Regents in the main deck. Then, among other things, we are playing Blood Moon in the sideboard. Seems like a good way to cheese these Halfling, Delighted Halfling, Teferi, the One Ring type decks. Possibly something we might try against Death Shadow as well. Yeah, so let's give this a shot and see where we stand with the Rhinos these days. So here we go. Alright, let's start this league on the play against Joey Bads. And we have a hand that doesn't really do anything, so I'm gonna send it on back. Hang on. It looks like maybe they have one listing for show and tell in the past. I don't think this hand is worth it. This hand I do think is worth it. And I guess we're just gonna throw back a Volcanic Island here. And just go for it and see what our opponent has to say. If they do have an answer, well, we get to attack with a 2/2 Shardless Agent with Force of Negation backup. I think I do want to get a dual land here. I think I am just going to get Tropical Island. If I get Wastelanded, that is really the least of my worries right now. And I have a Volcanic Island coming, or a blue source and Seagate Restoration. Maybe I could get... We'll just get Tropical Island. Okay. Cast Crashing Footfalls. It resolves. Alright, we're in there. Close out the sideboard here. Savannah. Blighted Halfling. Well, I can't stop it. Attack for 10. Spend a Crashing Footfalls. So they can play Teferi here. It looks like they're going to. But we'll get to answer it with one Rhino. And attack them. Answer with Shardless Agent. It is, in fact, Teferi. They are bouncing a Rhino. Play Wooded Foothills. Kill Teferi. Attack our opponent. So maybe their plan here is to play the One Ring. Looks like it's not. It looks like they have another one. Alright, good for them. I guess I'll go ahead and fetch here. We're kind of hoping to draw something at this point. Violent Outburst, that is something. I'll attack Teferi. Play Seagate Restoration untapped. And it's pretty obvious that I have something. But I don't want to lose to Terminus. So maybe we'll let them tap out for Teferi here or something. Maybe we just end up casting Force of Negation. Fourth mana. Thinking about it. Arrow. Alright, I guess I might as well Violent Outburst in response to this. Okay, we're in there. I would think we're in a pretty good spot from here. I guess they do have 2 mana left. They probably have some kind of removal here. Another Delighted Halfling. Well, that's not going to do it. What with the Trample? And 2 extra from Shardless Agent. Now we have Force of Negation up. I'd have to imagine we're in a safe place here. Seems like 8 damage to me. Okay, well there's one. So I'm thinking about my sideboarding here. And so cutting Murktide Regent for Blood Moon, I think, makes sense to try to cheese them out of the game. So we probably want some Fire and Ices around to remove Delayed Halfling. What would be interesting is maybe some more Endurances or Furies. You could say that Violent Outburst maybe isn't the best because the Cascade strat does nothing against the whole Teferi plan. So we might do that. I wouldn't mind bringing in some Endurance. I mean, they do play the Uro strat. Endurance is a way to kill that does not involve losing to Teferi. But Blood Moon also locks out Uro. I think I'm just going to try this. I mean, this is a slow hand, but I think it's fine. If they do the whole Halfling into Teferi, we'll be sad. But I mean, I think this hand overall is fine. Okay, so the opponent keeps on 6. Blooded Strand. We have an Elvish Spirit Guide. I'm just thinking about if I'm going to want to get a basic forest with this thing, which would be good in the event of Blood Moon, but I guess that's not overwhelmingly likely. I'll just play the Wooded Foothills and pass. Probably we want to start on Violent Outburst. Well, that's not a great time to draw Crashing Footfalls, but what are you gonna do? It's not super likely I draw the Blood Moon, so it's not like a super pressing consideration, but probably they play Teferi here, and we respond with Violent Outburst. Or they just don't, and we just play Violent Outburst. Get the Taiga. Have a Force of Will. Well, that's interesting they didn't play Teferi there. I would just like to jam Minsc and Boo. They have like all their mana open. So I think I'm just gonna stick with a plan here. They thought for a moment. Now the Crashing Footfalls is coming down. So I don't know. Maybe they have a plan to set up for Terminus here. Nope. They did. Yeah, they exiled Little Teferi to Force. It seems like a wild play, but maybe they have Supreme Verdict here. Ponder. Okay. I mean, I want to jam Minsc and Boo on my turn, but I feel like they must have like a Hydro Blast. Prismatic Ending, sure. Holding up a man. What are we drawing? Violent Outburst. Alright, well, I'm going to attack. I'm actually out of Rhinos to Cascade into. It's a bit of a bummer. We'll just have to slow suspend this Crashing Footfalls. There's the tournament. Okay. Alright, well, the opponent has 2 cards in hand. I guess I'm gonna jam my Minsc and Boo here. I don't know how much better it's gonna get. There's the Brainstorm, so that's an okay start. They don't just have Hydro Blast, so they'll have to 2-for-1 themselves, most likely. Okay, so Minsc and Boo is in. Hard to be upset about that. And are we getting in? It looks like it's gonna happen. So from here, it's seems like you'd have to think we're in an okay spot, right? Chose not to shuffle. Alright, they're passing the turn. So I gotta think they have some kind of removal spell here. 2. Makes sense. So we will plus on nothing. And then, yeah, I'll just hold up Force of Negation and Brazen Borrower here. I'm fine with that. So even Uro is pretty slow here. Not too worried about that. There's Teferi. We'll Force of Negation this. There's a Pyroblast, okay. So what's he gonna do? +1 this thing? So what we do get to do here is use Violent Outburst to kill Teferi. So that's exciting. Okay. And then, so we should be getting some Rhinos. Or if not, we'll keep beating down with Minsc and Boo. There it is. Alright, we're on the draw. This hand is, well, we could suspend 2 Rhinos on turn 1, or, we could... this one is a turn 1, does a thing on turn 1. And then, so what do we want to put back? I think I'll probably put back Fire and Ice. Probably the least exciting of these options. Be nice to reload with Violent Outburst. Brazen Borrower can bounce anything. Let's do this. Ground C. Thought C. Okay. Probably taking a Spirit Guide. Violent Outburst. So they probably have an answer at Days or something for this, which is unfortunate. Maybe it's Violent Outburst because they don't want me to Violent Outburst on their turn. I think it's likely they're on Death Shadow and that I have to play around Days. They have like a second Thoughtseize. It's pretty rough. Alright, they chose not to shuffle. I feel like we're gonna get hit with a second Thoughtseize. Yep. Well, it's like an unfortunate play, but I don't know. It's pretty hard to just play into Thoughtseize. I mean, play into Days there, and it's not very likely they have the second one. So I'll just have to live with it. Play this tapped. It is just Doomsday. Interesting. Well, we'll probably be able to deduce from this Doomsday pile as to whether or not they had Days. Yeah, so I see 3 dazes here, right? 1, 2. Oh, they have 4 dazes. Okay, well, I blew it then. I guess it figures. Minsc would have been a sweet draw here, but no such luck. In saving petty thefts, I could potentially bounce Boss's Oracle, though it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't just win this turn. And here it is. Now. Now here it is. So the good news is that Endurance is a banger in this matchup. We get to bring in 4. I probably don't need to Brazen Borrower or anything. And so... Murktide can probably come in. Stay in, I mean. Okay. Let's see if we can get it done versus Doomsday. This is a match where Inevitable Betrayal could conceivably win the game. But it's not very... I mean, they might keep in 2 Thassa's oracles. I mean, it's certainly a thing that people do. And the Rhino beatdown typically is pretty good against, you know, their half life total with Doomsday. I should have checked for that in their Doomsday pile as to whether they had 2 copies of Thassa's Oracle. They're exiled the Doomsday cards, I mean. Here we go. Well, I mean, I think that we have to sadly ship this one. If one of these cards was a Crashing Footfalls, I could like Elvish Spirit Guide, Crashing Footfalls, and then just hold up Endurance and Force of Negation. Well, this is, I think, a fine keep. And I think I'll probably just put back the Fire and Ice. Yeah. Don't want to miss out, lose on land drop. Okay. Because we'll be using the Simian Spirit Guide to jam Shardless Agent on turn 2. We get Thought Seized. Should be able to put our opponent in an awkward spot because we'll either... I mean, if they take Endurance, jam Shardless Agent. If they take Shardless Agent, obviously we still have Endurance. Okay. My opponent missed on Thoughtseize. Go ahead and thin the deck here, no reason not to. There's another Fire and Ice. See what they want to do about these Rhinos. And then we're doing damage here, and we have endurance. Two damage a turn anyway. But any kind of clock, I think, tends to be good with Doomsday, against Doom. Oh, here it comes. Opponent's working on their pile there. What would be good here is to draw a green card so we don't have to play into Daze or a Spirit Guide. But if the opponent ends up Street Wraithing, you know, Fire and Ice can deal damage. Or Endurance can certainly up the clock significantly out of nowhere. So fingers crossed, folks. So they're cycling some Street Wraiths right now. A Street Wraith. Dang, I'm not even... Okay, they passed the turn, thank heavens. There's a land. So... we're gonna be dead. Maybe they'll Street Wraith and then use that Flooded String. Not going. That would let us play around Daze if they were to Street Wraith. One card in hand. Edge of Autumn to sacrifice a land. They can't Daze. Here's a Cavern. Oh, two cards in hand. We get the cards in their line. One card in hand. Okay, so yeah, they can't Daze, so I think we are in okay shape. So we'll just play Endurance. Maybe they've got like Stifle as their last card. That would be. Okay. We got there. Do I want to do anything different with the sideboard? Didn't really look close at the exiled cards again. Well, I'll just wing it with what I've got. I like how Minsc and Boo could win the game out of nowhere. Yeah, we're just gonna roll with this. So this hand is pretty unexciting. The Crashing Footfalls does nothing, and Violent Outburst is pretty slow, and we don't otherwise have any counter spells or endurance. I think this is gonna be fine. And I would expect to draw a land within 3 turns when I'm ready to cast this Violent Outburst, so we'll try it. Opponent's on a mulligan to 5. Thoughtseize. Take my Force of Vigor. They took Violent Outburst. Fascinating. Yeah. I mean, we just have all kinds of Ponder, sure. Except Minsc and Boo is another win con that's like even better, almost. I don't know. Maybe we'll draw another Spirit Guide or an Endurance here. The opponent really blew my mind when they thought Seize for Violent Outburst in game 1, so maybe hoping they can do it again. Okay, well, I'm jamming Minsc and Boo next turn for sure. Opponent's just passing here. I'll get, doesn't really matter. Can't get the double green with just my land. Okay, so now do I want to play Shardless Agent around Daze? And I guess that I would rather do that. I mean, this largely ends the game anyway. And then if they don't have an answer for this, I mean, Minsc and Boo probably wins the game. Next turn. Opponent chose not to shuffle. Plays Lotus Petal. So they Doomsday with Force backup here. At least they're gonna be out of cards. And then obviously we can play for days. Well, Teferi I just don't even care about, right? If they want to bounce one of my Rhinos, not gonna worry about that. Yeah, you got it. Now. Yeah, let's just Minsc and Boo before combat. And I can't protect my Minsc and Boo with Force of Will here, but I don't know if I'd really want to anyway. And yeah, let's beef. Okay, there we go. Well, it was kind of a bad beat in game 1, so I'm pretty happy. I mean, Doomsday should be a pretty good match, but obviously we didn't know what the opponent was on there. But I think I probably, maybe you just have to jam. I've got a bit of a complex about playing against Death Shadow. It's a pretty rough matchup. Happy to win this one against Doomsday, though. All right. Round 3. The old 5-lander. I wasn't able to find anything from my opponent, but this hand is pretty darn slow. It does nothing. And I guess it does have Boseiju, potentially a spell. I could ice something on turn 2. Alright. If we draw any kind of banger, it's also good. Ancient Tomb, huh? Well, Chalice on 1 does nothing against us, so that's good. I think I'll go ahead, fetch the Taiga here. Probably icing that tomb. Of course, we drew another land. So. Force is not a bad one if we can find another blue card. It is the old 8 cast, huh? So for what it's worth, that second snow-covered island could be Seagate Restoration. Okay, well, we hit a blue card, so that's... And... Not worried about Blood Moon anymore. Force pitching Thoughtcast. And we'll force back pitching Fire and Ice. 10 power on the board. So Ice was pretty clutch here. Doing its thing on the play. Making the whole 5-lander Ice plus Cascade do a lot more tenable. And so we're just hoping to draw any other kind of banger. Murktide, Minsc, a Cascader. We have a Boseiju should they play a Chalice on 0. That's pretty. There's a basic island. Also, for what it's worth, I think that Blood Moon in the sideboard is probably garbage. Our Minsc, I think, just tends to be better. I just don't know about the cheesing Blood Moon strat. Alright, well, we drew another land. But, you know, I guess going 2 out of 3 isn't that crazy when you have your deck is 50% mana sources. It'll be a bummer if we draw another land on this turn. There's a Sigh. I'm gonna clog up the ground. And there's a Mox Opal. There's a Chalice on 0. That's good news. They can't play too many more artifacts than this. Top on it. So do they have yet another okay, they still have land. Well, none of that stuff matters too much. Here's the good news. We might be able to work out a shenanigan where we just Boseiju the Thought Monitor and sneak through for a couple points of trample damage. Maybe we'll draw Minsc off the top. But yeah, I'm definitely going to refrain from Boseijuing the Chalice for now. I can still play a Cascader. Well, we drew another land, so it's kind of disappointing. Alright. Well, I think that attacking with Shardless Agent definitely increases the chances that we get to cheese through some trample damage. Gotta attack with Shardless Agent. It's looking like Boseiju may get the job done. Not quite gonna. So we get to eliminate their whole board. And then they don't get to play anything from their graveyard with Emery. Like the everything good is shut off here, like the Ether Spell Bomb. And they would just go to 1 by those Aiju, the Thought Monitor. Yeah, I'll definitely take my chances against clearing their board. And leaving them like an Emery that does nothing. Taking out their Psy. So this is all cool with me. And then for what it's worth, we do have the ability to kill a Cannoneer. There's another Psy. Well, they can't possibly do much here, I don't think. Well, they did kill one of my Rhinos. Fuck, I didn't even think about that. Oh, and then what's the last spell gonna be here? Ether Spell Bomb. Good thing they played that Chalice on 1. He's still have the Thought on it. Okay. Alright, well hopefully this turn... What? Oh, they drew these cards from the Thought Monitor. Okay. Okay. Well, hopefully we can, draw not a land this turn. I know they're drawing a land every time but 1 here, so... Force of Negation. Not the most exciting. Okay, despite my stupidity, we're gonna get this done, thankfully. It's not letting me realign them, but I guess it doesn't matter. I guess just my opponent gets to decide. I don't know why it's prompting me. I've played Magic before. Okay, well, yeah, I made this extra hard on myself. And, but we got there. Okay. Now I'm excited about, the options here. I do think that Fire and Ice is a little weak, in that their Emerys tend to keep themselves under control. One thing I think, I put Brotherhood's End instead of having like just a 4 Force of Vigor situation, pretty much just because of this matchup. You kind of maybe do want to answer Emery some of the time, and this gives us a bunch of flexibility and a way to wipe a bunch of artifacts. So anyway, I just got to not do anything stupid this round. And I just got to figure out what else I want to cut here. I think cutting some Force Negations is pretty obvious. Then what I could potentially do is bring in a Blood Moon. I mean, it does do something against like Urza Saga, and then making huge tokens is definitely a problem. So like maybe one Blood Moon in the sideboard's okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay, on the draw for game 2 with one of these hands, which is thankfully pretty easy to stand back. And yeah, we're gonna have to keep this one. Probably like Murktide Regent is gonna have to go back here. Can't really be Violent Outburst, although they probably do have the Chalice on 0, but we have Boseiju. But yeah, Murktide Regent would be a good one to draw later. Alternatively, I could put back a land, but we probably want to use Boseiju as a spell anyway, so I think we have Murktide Regent obvious here. Okay, let's do it. Not gonna fight over Chalice on 0. It's just so good against them. That's like one of my favorite things about this matchup. But yeah, I will just go ahead and suspend this Crashing Footfalls. Yeah, we have Boseiju to answer Chalice anyway. Totally comfortable with this spot so far. As well as Brazen Borrower, of course. There's that Urza Saga. Another one. Okay. Yeah, tons of Urza Sagas can definitely be a bit of a problem. I could just rip off the Boseiju here. And then, like, draw a land. They could just play another... It's kind of a problem if I don't draw the land. Watch, I'm guaranteed to draw the land now. Did not. Okay. That's, that was probably... Well, I didn't draw the land, so that's cool, but it was also a pretty rough draw. So they went for the Mox Opal, interesting. Thoughtcast, we'll have to let that one resolve. So my plan here is going to be like to Brazen Borrower, a Construct token. Dang, we are just not drawing any more lands, huh? We get to make another construct here. Then we get to bounce one of them. Boseiju Chalice on my turn. Ether Spellbomb. Not so bad. See? Yeah, you can have that Mox Opal. Theft. This would be where Force of Vigor would be a sick draw, huh? gonna force. I'm gonna back. Okay, well, we're just dead then. Alright. Alright, well, what I might do here is just actually cut a Cascader for the other Blood Moon. I think we... Blood Mooning or Urza Saga, I mean, that is their easiest way to win. Yep. So let's see if we can't get it done on the play. This hand has all kinds of fun things. So we shall roll with it. Yeah, let's play this. And it's a little slow, but hopefully they play a Chalice on 0 and we get to do some work with a Force of Vigor. Well, they're gonna get to see that I have shenanigans going on in my hand. There's the Chalice on 0. I'm always happy when they do that. So yeah, probably we'll just pitch Violent Outburst to Force of Vigor here at some point. Okay. Yeah. There's a Seagate Restoration. So that does not let me cast Violent Outburst. So I'm still looking at pitching Violent Outburst for... There's the Urza Saga. So I think I'm going to take out their Seed Aside Nod. Yeah, the Mox Opal is legendary, so I might as well leave that in play. Is this a mystical force of... Well, I guess I'm forcing back. Okay. Probably not good. Yeah, it would have, I don't know, the thing about sideboarding Blood Moon is I just never draw it anyway, although obviously I wouldn't be able to cast it from here. Yeah, now my goose is cooked. And not even Fury will save me. I mean, I guess I could draw another Force of Vigor. But I'm going to be dead in a hurt here if I don't draw. Yeah, pretty much Force of Vigor is the only draw because that Chalice is still in play. I guess Brazen Borrower is in fact a draw, so... Bummer. I mean, I guess I could have not forced back. I guess I didn't force during their upkeep there. See, I just can't beat all their force negations here. Alright, that's a bummer. It seems like a matchup I should be able to win. It seems like a matchup where Blood Moon really would be clutch. Probably better than that. Fury just does nothing here. We'll come back to that one. Okay, we're up against Easy Money Marksman. I think that they are on Death Shadow. So yeah, this is this is the matchup we made some adjustments for. So maybe we can draw a Murktide Regent at some point. Maybe they're just on Delver. See, this should be. I think that this is a pretty positive matchup. It would seem like they're not on Death Shadow at all then. So let's play Wooded Foothills. I mean, I guess there's a chance they're playing Stifle. Okay, so I probably am gonna Fire and Ice this. And then see if they want to daze that. They just did not have another land. Huh? Well, actually, maybe I'll just petty theft it. And see what they want to do about that. And that doesn't expose me to Wasteland. Ponder. There's a Delta. Okay, so on my turn here, they just want to do nothing, huh? Well, I can just play Brazen Borrower and not have to play into Daze this turn, so I mean, that seems like a worthwhile thing. I can fetch this big. Delver. Hopefully they're not on Stifle, huh? Keep drawing them lands. Yeah, I'll attack with Brazen Borrower here. The opponent has not put very much pressure on us, so this is going pretty okay, it seems. Minor misstep. Oh, you know, that's a good one for them. They do play a Murky Reach here. No, we do get to ice it. Hopefully they don't play Mercury. Lightning bolt. Here comes the Mercury. All right, no Mercury this time. That is now I feel good again. What would really be great is to draw a Force of Will on our end here. Force of Will, Force of Negation. We'll be having all kinds of fun. Dragon's Rage. They be attacking. Alright, here we go, deck. Draw something. Besides a land. Well, it technically wasn't a land. Play the Scalding Tarn. Attack. Play Violent Outburst. We at least get in for some extra here. Force of Will. And if only we had drawn for it. We are getting in for 7 though on the plus side. And yeah, I mean we get to play, spend these Rhinos, but probably too slow to matter, sadly. Too bad we couldn't get a draw that like did anything. I guess we could still draw something this turn that does something. Orcish Bowmasters. Yeah, they're gonna that guy off. Brazen Borrower, fair enough. Or where I need to draw something. Come on, deck. Let's draw something. Mercury would be sick. Well, it's mostly nothing, sadly. It's a bummer. Like, we pretty much just didn't hit any draws this game. We pretty much only drew land. It's going pretty well, too. I mean, the opponent is at a pretty low life total, yeah, but they have Lightning Bolt. We already know that, I believe, right? So I think we're just dead. But if that Crashing Footfall could have been, like, anything, it would have got the job done. But, that's the way it goes. We were not getting there. Oh. Alright, well, the good news is this should be pretty favorable. They are playing minor missteps, so you gotta hand it to them. We had a lot of good draws, and we... Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's worth bringing in the Brotherhood's end. You could do it over Fury, I suppose. Right, but isn't Fury just better? I mean, Brotherhood's End does cost a lot less. Are on the play. Big old board wipe there. I mean, Violent Outburst is just a little questionable because of all the minor missteps, but we're probably not going to be in Minsc and Boo, man. I think I'll just have to roll with it. Can't keep it. Bummer. Where are all the lands? Where are all the lands this time, huh? This. Dang, I'm gonna lose to Delver. I mean, I guess, yeah, I can see how minor missteps well positioned in the format with people doing stuff like what I'm doing. I guess I shouldn't give up hope yet. I feel like, well, whatever. We're gonna draw this land. I'm not worried about it. One land and we're totally in this game, right? Even be a Seagate Restoration. Yeah, we'll take 3. And I'll just jam Shardless Agent here. Yeah, they can daze or whatever. Force, sure. So it seems like a heck of a time to concede. But we were about to play Endurance. Maybe they, are whitelisted and get to know what's in our hand. So I definitely like Fury on the draw. Yeah, all right, we're gonna do it. All right, we did. You can beat Delver. You don't have to worry about some irritating draws that happened earlier. All good. We're all set. Deck, the nature of this deck is you just have to mulligan sometimes. Yeah, I'm definitely keeping this. Especially against my opponent's mulligan to 5. Yeah, here we get to suspend Crashing Footfalls and have Brazen Borrowers, which will slow them down, and then we get to start jamming Endurances. So this is also a hand that just wants to draw a mana. This is like a pretty swell hand, I think. Yeah, they're bobbling. Mystic Sanctuary to the graveyard. Bobble, target me. Let's see, what do they know about? In Spirit Guide. Well, let's suspend Crashing Footfalls, huh? Delta. Another Dragon's Rage. Back Delta. Brainstorm. So they still don't have Delirium, it's worth noting. I'm gonna have a bit of a decision here about jamming Endurance, but if they jam Murktide, bouncing with Brazen Borrower is gonna be pretty good. Really not under any pressure. Okay, there's a land. And not land. So yeah, I think I can just afford to chill here. If they go for like a wasteland, then we're probably just gonna just stick an Endurance here. Off a bunch of Spirit Guides. Delver. So they have 2 cards in hand. So we're probably just jamming Endurance then. Hopefully we draw a land at some point here. There's a Daze. Do they have another Daze? Okay. Alright. Well, that's how we do it. I told you Delver was a good matchup. It's a little disheartening. You only draw lands in game 1, and after an irritating loss to 8-cast. But in any case, let's try to hit that 4-1 here. Okay, on to draw. And this hand looks pretty okay. But definitely plays some magic. So, against Spicy the Squirrel here. And let's see how spicy they really are. Could be the old Rhino's Mirror. Or it could not. The old GSZ for Dryad Arbor. Sure. I think this kind of matchup should be favorable, but we'll see. We'll throw a Scalding Tarn out there. So we're likely gonna force something here, then play Fire and Ice on our turn, and then hopefully we'll finish them all off with a Violent Outburst for the win. What's gonna be 3 mana, Grist the Hunger Tide. Yeah, so let's force the will this one. And then what do I want to pitch here? Fire and Ice or Brazen Borrower? I think I'm gonna take my chances with Brazen Borrower. It at least attacks over the top of Knight of the Reliquary. My only regret is, yeah, there's just no way I don't have a basic mountain to get here. But I can't really imagine playing basic mountain in this deck. But we're possibly a little weak. Lightning Bolt. Need Wasteland, sorry. Okay. Mana for an Orcish Bowmasters, that's certainly fine. Take my chances against that. You'll inopportune Crashing Footfalls draw. That's the way it goes. It's a real bummer. I mean, you play 3 Crashing Footfalls to try to avoid irritating draws like that. But on the other hand, if you played with 4 Crashing Footfalls, it'd be kind of less devastating to naturally draw the Crashing Footfalls. Because there'd be, you know, more left in your deck. So it's a bit of a catch-22, huh? Here come the Rhinos. So, you know, maybe they've got a Swords to Plowshares or something here, but that's okay. We'll carry on. So yeah, they get to keep their Bowmasters around, but that is the great thing about this deck, is we don't care. What's this gonna be? Birds O Paradise, sure. So another Grist off the top would be good for my opponent, to be fair. But we have some things going on here. If that does happen. Sure have the mana now to do whatever they want. Probably a green sun for... They don't play Omnath, do they? That'd be wild. Oh, Minsc and Boo. Well, you know, that's a pretty good one, huh? Although it's not that good, to be fair. We're gonna be able to deal with that, so that is... Ooh, Murky Reed showing up in the final round. Look at that. So, play Petty Theft on the Boo token. That's right. Send the gang at Minsc. And a nice little Murky Reed 7/7 here to spice things. And then we still have those Rhinos are coming down in, well, not for a while, but we have things to do. So that is nice. Here we go, we got some action. They played Verdant Catacombs, and here comes another Reliquary. That is not such a big deal, though, at this point. Maybe an ice off the top here. Brazen Borrower. Okay. Yeah, we'll just crash in for 7 in the sky. Blocking with birds, that makes sense. But Brazen Borrower is going to come down. So, yeah, they can't really attack with their Knight of the Reliquary. To be fair, they did have Karakas here. I was thinking that Minsc and Boo would have been, you know, not too much worse thing. Murky Reach here, but it really is clutch in this specific spot again with Karakas. So, I mean, yeah, Murktide Regent is doing work here. Let's see what the follow-up is. We're just passing so far. I think attacking with Nether Reliquary would not be advisable. Here comes Brazen Borrower to add to the fun. We draw an ice or another Brazen Borrower. Force of Negation. Well, that could do something. Scrib Ranger? They have Scrib Ranger? That would be pretty sick if they do. Orcish Bowmaster. So they get to pick off Brazen Borrower here, but that is Oh, do they still? Okay. Ah, it's Screwbrain. Maybe it's a Mazavith? Nurturing Peatland. Endurance. Okay. Alright, well that's all still fine. Yeah. Murky Reach doing work here. Still at 21 life. Force of Negation for Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, here it comes. Oh. Raucous is tapped. If we do draw that Minsc and Boo. Okay, so they played a Guy's Cradle. But, oh, they didn't even realize they were a Yorion deck. So, that's cool. But we'll be getting the mess of Rhinos here. Actually, Minsc and Boo probably would have been fine since it could have beefed up my Rhino token now that I think about it. It is one of the great things about this deck in Minsc and Boo is that Minsc and Boo, yep, putting +1, 3+1/+1 counters on a Rhino is a pretty viable strat. Simian's. Well, I don't really want to take myself off of Force of Negation. Is this going to be the turn that Murktide gets through? Looks a little like it. Okay. So hopefully they're just playing like one copy of Grist here, and they can fade Grist. I guess Scrub Ranger is a bit of a beating, but it's going to be pretty hard for them to stop all this damage that's coming. You could maybe play the Simian Spirit Guide here, but obviously like a Swords to Plowshares here is like stupid good for the opponent. So little Grovey Grove, fine. Not sure what the plan is there. Maybe they have a Red Blast. We're getting action. There's a Green Sun that I might Force of Negation it. They took it back. They played a basic forest. Here we go. Here comes the Gaia's Cradle. It looks like maybe it is a Green Sun. Oh, it's an Endurance. They're gonna maybe grow Murky Reach, or maybe just do nothing. That would make sense. Oh, here comes a follow-up. What is this? Yeah, I think it's gonna be a Green Sun. No, it's Yorion, of course. The Narwhal dragon thing. Okay, so they exile their Orcish Bowmasters. Doesn't really seem like a huge deal. We get to pick off Simian Spirit Guide here. Get a 2/2. Alright, deck, how about a Brazen Borrower here or something? We'll fetch to Thin. Shardless Agent. I believe I am out of Rhinos here. Unless one's been shuffled back in. So if I attack with everything, Endurance has to block Murky Reach. Knight of the Reliquary blocks a Rhino. Yorion blocks a Rhino. Then they have to do some stuff. So yeah, I don't know how it is profitable to attack with the other guys. Of course, the Yorion does have flying, so there's a block they can make. Yeah, so I think I do have a Crashing Footfalls in my deck. And what I can do is play the Shardless Agent and have Force of Negation back up by using Simian Spirit Guide to play it. So I think I'm just going to play Murktide Regent here, and then play Shardless Agent. So I guess they do get to double block, and that's good news for them. And so we'll have to take out the Yorion. No two ways around this. Then I believe we do get to this. Okay. So we have quite a bit of power in play now. So I think we should be in the clear next turn against... We'll have to see what their one card is here. Okay. Took quite a bit of time, but we got there. Alright, so against this kind of creature deck, I think it's going to be 2 Furies in, Force of Negation out. I mean, Brotherhood's End doesn't deal damage to Planeswalkers. Oh, it does deal damage to Planeswalkers. Well, that's probably coming in too. Dang, this card's actually pretty, that's interesting. I mean, I just thought it was 3 damage to each creature. If that's the case and it can take out the Grist, that's pretty exciting, actually. Jeez. I guess it helps to read the card. Yeah, I don't think we need Endurance. I could maybe... hitting Green Suns with like a timely Green Sun with Force of Negation could be quite good, or a Minsc. Like maybe like Brazen Borrower isn't that best against what they're doing there, and Force of Negations is okay. I'll try that. Okay, so on the draw here, we do have a turn 1. Or we could play a turn 2 Minsc with Force Protection. Pretty compelling. Although not great against Karakas. If I draw a blue card, I think I just have to go for the Shardless Agent. Esper Sentinel. I think we'll just have to accept Esper Sentinel happening. Let's draw. So we drew a blue card. Yeah, I mean, the Minsc could just singularly lose to Karakas. Although if I do wait, I think it's best just to jam, right? We have the Force of Will. But we do have this Esper Sentinel in play now. I mean, I just have to go for it, right? I mean, they could end up potentially drawing like a bunch of cards here is the only thing. I'll just have to think pretty hard before I Force of Will anything. So Esper Sentinel is a nice combo with Orcish Bowmaster. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that go. There are times that I would Force of Will that, but not in the light of their S%. Pass it back to me. Taking their time here. Okay, we drew a Violent Outburst, potentially a good one. Attack. And pass it back to them. Alright, I had to step away for a second there, but they played Windswept Teeth and sacrificed it. Get Savannah. We're about to Force of Will this. Hopefully we can just draw a land. It's a land. I'm going to attack. I don't think 2 extra points of damage really matter here. Definitely don't want to give them an extra card now. You know, before their main phase. Well, I guess we're responding to that one, huh? Draw a card here. Okay. Okay, so there's sort of 2 schools of thought on the way Rhinos are constructed right now. And so this is the list to me that seems like it's obviously built to have some kind of chance against Death Shadow. You've got the 3 Murktide Regents, a couple Endurances main deck. I mean, those are also good cards against Delver. So you have obviously some kind of chance here against Delver. And then the other list, like the stock list, is just to play 3 Minsc because the card's incredible. And then these builds typically do play the 4 Seagate Restoration. You see this one playing 3 Seagate Restorations, the second Islands, and then Blood Moon in the sideboard. Thing is that Blood Moon in the sideboard, I don't know, doesn't really matter anyway. Although having extra basics against tempo, I understand the strategy, and it certainly does invite Blood Moon. I feel like 2 Blood Moon is maybe not enough if you really want to cheese it. Cheese the Blood Moons, not the crackers. Anyway, I don't know. This is what I'm thinking about after this league. I mean, it really would be nice to land Blood Moon against 8 cast. So this would play 3 Blood Moons and then some basics. So maybe, you know, we'd actually get to cast it. I mean, it's maybe a questionable strat. I guess it'll require more testing to see how Blood Moon actually works, because I haven't actually drawn it or had a chance to play it or cheese anyone out with it. But the Brotherhood's End, like, also, I don't know. It was just the game against Acast was super irritating. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm still thinking about it. I mean, maybe it's not that bad to put in a couple copies of Murky Reach. I mean, it at least does pitch to Force of Will. But Minsc is such a clutch card. But Yeah, I mean, the version we started the league did have both. So I don't know. Not quite sure where to leave it. 3 Brazen Borrowers did feel fine. So probably another Murktide Regent is in fact better than a 4th Brazen Borrower. So maybe this build does make sense. And then, I mean, I should probably trying to jam Blood Moon doesn't really work. But Force of Vigor, I think that maybe my strategy of like boarding out Force of Negation against like boarding out Force of Negation for Force of Vigor doesn't really work against 8 cast. You get into the crazy force battle like we saw. So 8 cast seems like it should be a winnable matchup. The tools are all here. There's also Brotherhood's End, which as we realize now hits Grist. And I guess I knew it hits Planeswalkers, but taking out Grist is pretty sweet. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave it there, folks. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Yeah, jamming Rhinos and Legacy sure is a lot of fun. So, you know, you should do it too. All right, thanks.